Hello there, Ray here, and Minecraft just dropped a huge 1.20 snapshot. This includes the sniffer, archaeology, and the cherry blossom biome. Leave a like and make sure you're subscribed, and let's get into it. First up, the sniffer. This is the mob that won the 2022 mob vote. Currently, you can find the spawn egg inside the creative menu, as they haven't introduced the sniffer egg coming from archaeology yet. Let's turn on the hitbox and see how big they are. You can see they are square despite them looking like a rectangle. All these sniffers are sniffing about looking for some seeds. Here we got one here that's actually digging. And it actually dug up one of the new plants that are coming in the game. It looks so cute when they dig in the ground and they pop up the items. And the seeds they find are called torch flower seeds. With these seeds, you can go ahead and plant them on farmland. Let's go ahead and grow it up. You can see the next stage started to grow. And then we can see more of a flower being produced. This block is called the torch flower crop. Now the torch flower itself doesn't actually produce any light. But once grown up, you can go ahead and break it and harvest it. Then you can go ahead and plant this anywhere you want as a really cool decorative block. The torch flower can be put into the crafting grid and crafted down to make a orange dye, giving us an alternative way to actually get orange, but the easiest way is probably still making yellow and red using my flower dye farm and then just combining them for orange. But I'm sure going to enjoy making a farm, being able to automatically grow these up and collect them, as the items themselves are pretty cool for decoration. Now the seeds themselves can be used to actually breed sniffers. Let's give this one another seed and watch these two sniffers breed. They almost look like a solid box. Okay, they produce a baby. Let's go check it out. Oh, look at the baby, it's so cute. Baby sniffers are called snifflets. Let's go ahead and try to use the seeds. It looks like you can actually increase its growth speed by using the seeds on it. Now, the sniffer cannot actually be tamed, and it is a passive friendly mob. What are questions you guys have about the sniffer or the plant? Speaking of sniffers digging up seeds, that can be planted for new decorative plants. We got a brand new leak. This leak comes from the Twitter account Roger Badgerman, the same person who leaked the 3 mobs for the Minecraft mob vote, and that we were going to get camels with 1.20. In the image, it's clearly in the game of Minecraft, and we can see there's 2 new plant-like blocks. This one over here almost looks like a pitcher plant, but it's not growing directly on the ground. They said it's growing on this piece of brown slab height block, which appears to be a piece of wood. It could also be like a small flower pot, because we are getting the new big pots, so it's possible that they made a really short one as a full block rather than our small flower pots. Or this could be like a planter's box, which is a wooden box that's usually filled up with the type of soil that the plant likes, as well as maybe some mulch on top. Because this is supposed to be an ancient plant, it is very possible that it needs a special type of environment in order to grow in the modern day. And because environments change over time, maybe it's no longer suitable to grow in our soil. Another possibility is that this is actually a chunk of wood, and this is actually a plant that lives on decaying material, such as like you think of like a mushroom growing on an old log. So you put down like an old log, you plant your seed in it, seed would slowly grow up until it comes into this flowering plant. Now the second plant definitely looks like a vine or a lichen, both of which we already have in the game. But once again, you can see this one actually grows and flowers out. Now they are showing it on like stone, so it could be like some kind of moss that's growing on the stone. And these type of plants can actually bloom with somewhat small flower. When they did talk about the sniffer, they did mention decorative plants, which is plural, meaning more than one. So both of these could come from the sniffer digging up seeds. With the viney one, I'll be curious if players can use it just like vines and climb up them. But for the pitcher one, it's definitely unique, so it might have some unique properties, especially with this flower pot base. What do you think about these? Next up, archaeology, where you can find suspicious sand around desert temples, desert wells, but they said they will add in more in the future. The sand looks a little bit different than normal sand, and using the new tool called the brush. To get the brush, you will need to put in 3 strings and 2 sticks. That will produce 1 brush. With the brush, you can right click on things to try to dust them. You can see nothing's really happening to this sand. If we go to suspicious sand and we right click, you can see it's actually changing it. You see little cracks forming, kind of like the player would be breaking it. Once complete, it will convert over to a sand block. Now, the original video, they show the player actually removing layers. This is a lot simpler probably to code than to add layers. That would slowly go down and maybe change hitboxes as well. These suspicious sands, you can't actually collect them. When you break them, they just shatter. And even if they're sitting on top of another block and you break the one below it, they'll fall and then shatter as well. You have to be careful when digging about. If you stop brushing, the progress will eventually revert back to before. Nice thing is about where it converts back to sand, it doesn't leave holes in your world like the previous design would. Now when you are dusting, you move very slowly, kind of like holding a shield out. There's also this cool animation the player does with holding the brush and going back and forth with it. Now I couldn't find any desert temples that actually had natural suspicious sand generated with them, or desert wells with it. But we can mimic the loot that would come from these if we just do archaeology / desert pyramid. You can see we can get stuff like diamonds, TNT, emeralds, the new pottery shards. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in a command block and we can just see all the different stuff that you'll actually get from it. So it seems each stand will only give you one item. So I ran a while, you can see all the different things you can get from it, including 3 types of the pottery shards. Prize one, which has the little diamond shape on it. Some people thought it was a ruby. We also get the archery one, which has the bow and arrow on it. And we get the skull pottery shard, which has the skeleton skull on it. We also get quite a bit of TNT, got diamonds, emeralds, and even gunpowder. This doesn't make diamonds renewable since these suspicious sands aren't renewable, but it could be a cool way to get some early game without having to go deep in the ground. Also got emeralds for trading, gunpowder so you can make more TNT, and TNT so you can easily blow up stuff. Now if we change this command for the desert well and we clear inventory, let's go ahead and run this one. We can see we actually get different loot. So we're getting emeralds now. We're also getting suspicious stews, some sticks, some clay bricks. So it's actually worth going to desert wells because they'll give you different types of loot. This includes the other pottery shard, which we couldn't get from the desert temple. This one's called Arms Up. It's a little character with his arms up in the air. We also got tons of suspicious stews. Let's go ahead and eat one of them. That one gave us blindness. This one gave us night vision. This one gave us jump. So it seems like it's kind of random what effects you'll get. So you could get a good effect or you could get a negative one. We also got some more emeralds and of course sticks, which could be used to make like more brushes because when you do use them, they take durability damage. You can see they have 64 of it. These shards can only be found through archaeology and cannot be crafted. Now with these shards, you can place them into the crafting grid like this, with each side being the type you want to display. This will produce a decorative pot. Depending on which side you put the image on, will decide which image are placed on which sides of the pot. Notice that we use 3 skulls and a bow, and that's exactly how it turns out. You can also make a plain pot just by using normal plain bricks. You don't have to go doing the archaeology in order to get more of these pots. So this will make my clay farms more useful as you need clay in order to get tons and tons of these. If you use your bare hand on the pot and you break it, it just instant breaks and you get it back as an item. But if you use a tool on them, it will shatter and it'll drop the pottery shards so you can craft it again if you want to. If you use silk touch on these, they will drop as an item. It's pretty cool that the shards are stackable, but the pots are not, as they do have special NBT tag for the individual ones. And it doesn't seem that you can place any items inside or any liquids. And as I predicted, these blocks are slightly smaller than a normal block, and when you stand on top of them, your player will just walk right through the mouth of the jug. Now originally they talked about finding the sniffer egg inside of chest in ocean ruins, but since it fits so well with archaeology, they probably switched over to finding it within there. They could still add archaeology to ocean ruins someday, but it seems like they scratched the idea of finding it within the chest. What questions do you have about this? Now let's check out the cool cherry blossom biomes. They got these amazing trees which can be grown up from saplings. They have quite a bit of variety in how they grow up. So it should be a fun challenge designing an automatic farm and not only get the new wood type, but also the new leaves. So make sure you join my live stream just after this, where you the viewer can join me in playing in the new snapshot. You can find the details in the description. Crafting the logs down produces this nice light pink wood block variants. What do you think of these? The cherry grove biome can be found in mountains just like you find meadows. And just by harvesting the leaves and place them down again, they'll actually drip these particles, kind of like petals falling from the tree. Besides all these cool cherry stuff, there is these new blocks that are on the ground. We go ahead and look at them with F3. They're called pink petals. And in survival, you can actually just break these off the ground and they look amazing. You can use these to then craft down or pink dye. And you can get more of this stuff just automatically by dispensing bone meal onto it. It's an easy way to make a pink flower farm. There's also different levels of it. So this is like flower amount 2, then there's 3, and then there's 4. And after that, it will give you extra. Bedrock Edition also got most of these updates like archaeology and the sniffer. They just didn't get the cherry blossoms. They also fixed some other bugs along with it. Java Edition finally got a parity similar to Bedrock Edition where you can put disc in with a hopper and it will automatically go into the jukebox and play. But a hopper underneath doesn't take the disc out. So I should be able to update my automatic music disc sorter using this to make it a bit easier so the player don't have to put the disc in, they just have to remove them. They also added a feature which is in Bedrock, which is when a music disc has something inside of it, it will immediately power redstone beside it with a power strength of 15 no matter what type of disc. You can still use the old feature of having comparator to read exactly what type of disc is inside of it. We also got a new thing we can summon in, which is interactions. These are actual entities in the game, kind of like our display entities, but these interactions will detect stuff like left clicks and right clicks. You can customize them about how big they are, what they respond to, what actual format they have, as well as they can be used in triggering advancements. Execute commands also work with them, so you can execute on the attacker or execute on a specific target. This is great for map makers so they can make interactive maps. Now I showed this cool trick where you could actually have baby camels get picked up in a boat where the adults wouldn't be able to get picked up in the boat, and then you can just grow them up to have adults. So now if you try to grow up a baby inside of a boat, or it grows up naturally, you'll see the camel actually will get kicked out. Same thing for the horses, including mules and donkeys. So you can no longer have like the horse storage on top of the boat. So these are cool rares to collect before upgrading your worlds. Since 1.16, certain mobs, when they would fall into water while sitting, would cause the cat to sink. So now once again it will float. I used to actually use this trick to transport pets really far away. So now once again I can use it for cats, as you can just put it on a timer and then drop the cat in water and then it'll teleport to you rather than just constantly sitting, because the water makes the mob stand up. Since version 1.6, when it came to breeding horses, there was a problem that the baby horse was never able to actually exceed the stats of the parents. But this resolved, it's possible to get better horses by breeding two really good horses together. So start getting those OP horses. Blast protection armor will now also work for reducing knockback for players where it wasn't before. Creepers are supposed to flash kind of like TNT before they explode, and that wasn't occurring in the previous snapshot, so they reverted that as well. Allays will no longer stall when trying to come over to the player. You no longer have to worry about getting kicked from the server for flying just because you died on top of a horse or camel. Turtles naturally generate along beaches during world generation, but the game sometimes put two passive mobs in the same block. This is actually causing problems with the turtles, and they're actually getting stuck, where they're constantly making walking noises. In a previous snapshot, they accidentally made it so when you die from a dripstone point, it was called a falling block, so they reverted it. This bug that's been in the bug report for quite a long time, where servers will show up as old, has been resolved. Drown's animation was a bit glitchy, so now it's smoother. Since 1.16, Lytra has been kind of jittery when turning, as you can see here. Now it's really smooth when you turn. They also fixed the Z fighting with boots, and on the new display text. They resolved a bug where there was a memory leak. Now one thing I forgot to mention is that in the settings, you can actually change how fast you want the glint of the enchanted armor to move across the armor. There's also another setting for how strong you want the glint to be. You can completely turn it off so you can't see enchantments, or you can make it really strong so it's a little bit easier. But the enchanted glint doesn't only apply to armor, as this is used also in the potions with their different effects. And because overall they brought the glint down, it's much easier to see the exact type of potion you have in game just by the color. But before they had so much enchanting glitter on them, they all looked about the same. This is something I complained about for a long time, so I'm really glad they changed this. Also, with the ability to switch out armor just by right clicking while having it selected, also works on armor stands, so I can switch out the pants on that one. And I hold the other one and I can switch it back. This enchanted look is also reduced on the enchanted golden apples, but for these it's almost to the point where you can't tell the difference visually between the enchanted one and the unenchanted one. You can also see this on other items which have enchantments. It's a lot more subtle. Now join me in exploring the new snapshot. You can find the IP on my Discord, or get up to date on everything coming with 1.20 in this snapshot here, or this one, where I designed several new farms for 1.20. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!